What's happening, fandoms? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we react to music videos and shows. Today we're going back to the Expanse. We're in season 5, episode 7, Oyedang. And I feel like I've heard that word before. It sounds like a belter word, but I don't remember what it means. In the last episode, we focused primarily on Amos and Clarissa, with their escape and them finding the prepper and making plans to head to Baltimore. And then, of course, the other part that we focused primarily on was Naomi being held captive and hostage on Marco's flagship. I think it's the Pella. I could be wrong, but it's a Martian battleship of some sort. It's bigger than the Rossi. It's brand new and pretty and shiny, and Naomi took a swing at Marco. She tried to knife him and was stopped by Philippe. I'm really interested to see how Naomi's story resolves in this version of the story. Her escape in the books is very, very dramatic, and I'm hoping that we get something similar. But she did manage to warn Holden about the Augustin Gamara code that was going to explode them if they tried to leave Tycho in the Rossi. And we also left Alex and Bobby in a pretty precarious situation, running from missiles with nowhere to run to, and then fighting off the pirates that tried to board them. Yeah, that story has shifted quite a bit from the original, so I really have no idea where they're headed. I think by this point, in the books, they had like the Prime Minister of Mars on board, and they were taking him to Earth or something like that. Stuff I just don't think we're gonna see, because it's all completely different from how they did it in the books. Yeah, I'm excited to see what we get into this time around. We're really rapidly approaching the end of this season, which kind of makes me sad, because it means we're getting really close to the end of all this. So let's dive into it. With all the moons that have been wrecked, Deimos and various moons around other planets, it's surprising that our moon has been untouched in all this battle. Flashbacks, interesting. Back to before Marco was a genocidal murderer.
So young and yet so accomplished.
I want you to be proud of me.
I know.
He didn't say I
Can I
am.
ask you a favor?
Anything.
Okay.
That ship Naomi gave you is a junker. It does nothing to help the fleet. There may be a way to make better use of it, but it is your ship. May I use it?
Of course. Whatever is best for the cause.
Yeah, he's so heavily indoctrinated. Of course he's gonna do it.
Thank you.
All right, well, they're setting things up for that Chetsmaya, I think it's called, is the junk freighter.
You're doing to Philip the exact same thing you did to me.
I raised him to be the fighter I thought you were.
Yeah.
He's his own person.
We came here to save
He doesn't
him
deserve to die for your dreams.
from
You have no
you,
idea
Marco.
who he is. You were only there when he was a baby who needed to be protected. I was there when he learned to walk.
Rub
I
it-
was there
rub it
when
in.
he first went out into vacuum. I was there for all the moments his mother should have been there for.
And I felt guilty every day since. The only reason you haven't killed me yet is because you're feeling threatened. And if you kill me, Philip will know I got to you. And that I was right all along.
Okay. Yeah, good.
I haven't killed you because I didn't want Philip to have his mother abandon him again.
Mm-hmm.
You are free to move about this ship, but if you
Again,
lift
huh?
a hand to anyone on this crew or tamper with anything on this ship again, you're going out in hell. And Philip
Little
will
foreshadowing.
know you for who you really are.
If we can't find the ship, maybe we can find out where it's going.
Are we preparing for failure?
Failure is why we're out here. I'm trying to change that.
Look at you, Monica.
Well, don't worry. You're gonna get what you always wanted.
Message from my pilot.
Hey, Haas. So, Bobby and me are burning the Tycho right now. Yeah, it's a long story. We got a lot to talk about and sort out.
Okay.
You and the Rossi are still in one piece when we get there.
Not much of a transmission delay.
Yeah, he's close.
He's supposed to be on Mars. What the hell's he doing out here?
Mm-hmm. She's
Philip?
roaming free.
Philip? Despite what your father may have told you, you're rebuilding an air scrubber.
That's what that is.
I did that when I was your age. Modified the intake.
Palace, you said you know what I'm going through.
Your father and me met when we were very young. Not much older than you. I'd never met anyone like him.
Because he's a
He
cult
made me
leader.
feel like the center of the universe.
He's a manipulator.
Craved his attention. And that made me blind. I wrote the code for the Augustine Kamara.
I know.
I see the way you look at him. And I know the hold he has over people. The hold he had over me.
Yeah.
I'm not you.
I know. But I hope you're not him.
I'm my own man. He doesn't control me.
Oh, I don't know, man.
I don't need him or you.
I believe you. I do.
I think that might be exactly what he needs. To think he's his own man. It's a good step. This has got to feel weird for him.
Why did you leave me?
He was held from her,
If your father found out it stopped me,
essentially kidnapping.
then he hid you from me.
Yep.
You left then?
I searched everywhere on Palace. And went into an airlock.
Yep.
I remember feeling at peace for the first time since your father took you from me.
Somehow that failed.
I was going to open the door. Never wanted to leave you. Walking away was the only choice I had left.
Yeah, show him what a bad guy Marco is.
Walking away.
What kind of guy takes their son away from their mother?
Anyone ever has.
All right, Alex.
Our Saturn and Jupiter fleets are still pulling back to guard the inner planets.
Abasrala didn't mention the Free Navy ship you and me took out.
I might have left that out of my message to her.
Really?
I can give you one of my old medals if you want.
Fuck you. Asshole.
Well, that's weird.
What?
I just got a reply from Holden.
That was fast.
Alex, good to hear from you.
We got profiles, drive signatures, and course projections, which we sent to Avasarala. Look, Marco's got a bunch of gun
I
chips
like
from,
Holden in that
ship
body
and now we're
armor. That's
tracking,
cool.
so look sharp.
Nice. Look at you, James.
Destroyers, warships. Jesus. And Noros fleet does have his own navy.
This is crazy. How that
No. We're not changing course.
Yep. Huh.
Alex, I need your help.
I'm starting to like Bull more.
Chetsumoka is her ship, and it's with the rest of his fleet. I need you to keep eyes on them. I know it's dangerous and a lot to ask, but if we lose track of them now, we may never find Naomi.
Oh, cool. I like the mag toolbox. That's fun. Obviously, you need to lock your tools down. Yeah. Yeah, she walloped him. He's probably really pissed.
you need any help?
Do I need to go get my helmet?
I'm sorry for hitting you.
Been hit harder before. You almost got space fire.
I had to do it.
He's agreeing with her. Interesting.
But then you walk back out. I went to find you the next day. But you were gone.
When Marco took Philip, he took away my life. Leaving
Interesting.
was the only way I could take it back. You did everything you could.
Oh, he didn't. He was
I
hiding.
knew where he was all along.
He was hiding him.
The reason you never found Philip was because I helped Marco hide him from you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Help me now.
If he helps her now, he'll get killed. It's too late. He can't do it now. Oh, unless they're changing this story. That does not happen.
But I've been thinking about the Martian gunships the Naros acquired.
Marco's loyalists aren't just belters anymore. He clearly has supporters on Mars.
That's what I'm thinking too. Martian guns and tech on the black market, that's not shocking. But entire gunships? Those don't just disappear. That would require months of planning, logistics, high-level military access.
Someone way up the MCRN food chain must be backing him.
Agreed.
They're
But to
putting it
what end?
together.
Naros couldn't possibly have the type of money it requires to buy one of those ships.
Holden, get your ass back up here. We got something.
Uh-huh.
Scanners have picked up this narrow bandwidth flash along the Zemai's flight path. Could be backscattered from a tight beam transmission.
Everyone suit up and get ready for a high G burn.
Cool.
All right, here comes the juice.
Zemaya has their instructions and knows what
These CGI things are so good.
do not give away our position.
Yeah, Captain.
Marco, let Naomi go. She doesn't need to be here.
Trying to help her now?
She never needed to be here. She's not going to go now.
She's not going to try anything again.
That's right. Because she knows if she does, she's not going to be shown mercy again.
Why do you keep trying to hurt her?
When I was a boy,
Get the true motivation here?
I looked up to you. That troubles you. Then you are free to go.
Where would he go? It's not like it, oh, we'll just I'll just stop off and hitchhike.
Torpedoes.
Oh boy. I love this
That's a
pyro.
shipload incoming. Firing torpedoes. We'll take out as many.
Putting us into a spin.
The Zamea had defenses. I love it. Oh yeah.
Easy one, champ. God damn, we got them all. Charging up the railgun. There's a couple holes in their drive cone, and we'll board them. What the fuck for?
I thought we're destroying the ship.
The reactor's still online.
Zamea, power down your reactor immediately. This is your last chance or we will fire.
Oh. They just exploded themselves. Damn. I don't think this went down that way in the books. I don't remember the Zamea destroying itself or the Rossi finding them. Could just be totally wrong, but... What are we even looking at there? Those look like maybe Martian ships?
You're right.
Marco does not want to share the limelight, even with his own son.
Belters should know that it was Philip Inaros who was responsible for the destruction of the Rocinante at Tycho Station. That it was Philip who helped the Zamea successfully deliver us the proto-molecule.
Yeah.
That it was Philip. That's who you are.
Make him feel small, gaslight him.
Belters everywhere are chanting my name, not yours. You are nothing without me.
Yep. Yeah, he can't share. Oh, man, in one breath, he's tearing him down and then he's lifting him up. It's classic cult leader behavior.
Mako wants to see you.
We've decided to use your ship to lure the Rocinante and destroy it.
Why would they tell her this?
What?
After that, after you've watched your family die, we will put you on the float and you'll be free.
You tried to poison me against my real family. You are everything I am not.
Ooh. That's harsh. Expected. Oh boy. Everybody is against her.
You really think that you could get my son, my own flesh and blood, to betray me?
I fucking hate you! Get up! I hate you!
He is so goddamn evil. Man, that stare. Oh.
Detach Chetsumoka and retract docking bridge. I got it.
Okay, if we're keeping with the same story, it's now or never. Is this it? Is this the moment? It is. Oh my goodness. Ooh boy. It's, oh my goodness, it's just the same.
Don't do this. Naomi.
Oh no.
Please. I can fix this with Marco.
Yep. Oh my god. Woo. Come on, girl. Yep, the emergency airlock open. Ooh. They're gonna leave this as a cliffhanger, aren't they? Exactly like the books. Oh my god, and it was so sudden. So wow. Yep. Woo! They set that storyline in play at the beginning of this episode, and I thought it was going to take a while to play out, but I mean, with the exception of some of the stuff that happened aboard Marco's flagship there, that played out pretty much exactly the way that it did in the books. It felt very compressed, and this last couple of minutes was days of planning and chapters of exposition and making sure she knew how to get this done. But here, from the moment that she learned that this was Marco's plan to when she jumped out of that airlock, felt like 3 minutes, right? It was not something that was plotted and carefully executed. It was just a spur of the moment, let's just do this thing kind of thing. Wow. It still had some significant impact. The fact that Finn came around, sort of, but was ineffective, he wanted to help her and just was incapable of doing so, was very, very tragic. And then for him to kind of be caught in the middle of this plot and die going out the airlock is really, really tragic, but it helps sell the illusion, because what Naomi wants here is for everyone to believe that she's just spacing herself and that her and Sin are now dead, not that she's aboard the Chetsmoka, because if they think she's there, they'll just go get her, rather than have the Chetsmoka take off. So yeah, it helps sell the fact that this is a deadly event and not one that she actually hasn't a plan, right? And in the books, we know that this works because we get the perspective of Philip mourning the loss of his mother because she's now dead. In his eyes, she's now gone and dead, and it's his fault. And there's remorse there. We may see that in the next episode. We may not. There's not a whole lot of time left in this season for all of these things to come together. And so I suspect it's going to happen very, very rapidly. I don't want to get ahead of things though. Try and predict what's going to happen. That's never served me well with this show. Ooh. In this episode, we didn't see a single bit of the surface of the planet. We only saw just a flash of Avasarala, surface of Earth. So no Amos. we got just a tiny little bit of Alex and Bobby, but I really liked what we got. Their story continues to morph around the shifting of these events. They're now still out here. Instead of having reached the safety of some sort of a fleet that was protecting them, they just escaped, and now they are another point in space out here in the relative area of the Free Navy, Rocinante. It's sort of nebulous where everyone actually is, but we know that they are close. You know, in the scale of solar system distances, close is a really relative term. They could be, you know, millions of miles apart and still be close. I guess I don't know how those things are measured, but they are all sort of in the relative same area of the solar system and can effectively reach one another. And we saw the Rossi overtake the Zamea, and the fact that the Zamea destroyed itself rather than be boarded, I don't know. I think that might tell us that the protomolecule was not on board. Because why would they destroy themselves and the protomolecule if their entire goal was to get it somewhere? I think they must have found a way to get the protomolecule off of that ship, or it was never there to begin with, and the Zamea was just a decoy. But the way that Marco reacted to the fact that the Zamea didn't accomplish its goal really makes me feel like they were plan A. Maybe plan B was they packed the protomolecule into a missile and shipped it off somewhere else, just like they did on the Rossi. That would have been really difficult to detect, and they wouldn't have needed to stop anywhere to do it. So that's a possibility. That really surprised me when that ship exploded. Yeah, not an event I expected. We continue to talk about Fred. So his impact continues to be felt, and where Fred at this point in the books was aboard the Rocinante, assisting and communicating and helping to strategize, he's obviously dead in this version of the story. Bull, I guess, is kind of a stand-in for Fred, because he gets to talk about what Fred would have wanted or the way Fred would have acted. And Bull definitely wasn't part of this story in the books at this point, because I think we lost Bull in season 3, book 3. I don't recall if he died or not, but we never saw him again after book 3. So very interesting that they're finding these interesting ways to work around different aspects and different characters being present or not present. The fact that Monica and James are kind of intellectually putting together the framework of this Martian military structure and plot to, you know, provide Marco with these military ships is somewhat of a stand-in for the fact that at this point in the story, we had on board one of the ships a primary leader of the Martian world, because they had to be rescued from something. They were en route to a peace talk or something, and they were, I think, on board the Razorback and communicating and trying to figure out how this happened on Mars, and not really very useful because they were a politician, and so pretty much everything they ever said was cloaked in these flowery words and not wanting to admit responsibility, but yet they were still working towards figuring out why and how the military was giving ships away. And so Monica and James putting that together is kind of a stand-in for that direct communication with the Martian government. I think this is better because rather than having someone to hold responsible for it, we're just kind of piecing it together. And we know from our perspective as viewers, having watched Bobby and Alex try and figure things out on Mars, that there's at least one like admiral that's involved in this whole thing. And frankly, their goal is to secure control of these outer planets, the planetary systems beyond the ring space. And I think that they are attempting to maybe work with Marco or maybe use Marco to accomplish those goals. I'm not quite sure which, but definitely there's some oddities going on there, and they're kind of piecing it together. Like, what would be their motivation? Why do they care? Mars is gonna die. Why would you stay on Mars where you have to work for generations to slowly build a habitable situation when you can just, hop on a ship and in a few months be on a brand new planet that's perfectly good, right? Why spend 200 years building a magnetosphere that supports an atmosphere when you can just go to a place that has one already? And that's why Mars is dying. Ooh, another amazing episode. I absolutely was delighted by the combat scene with the Rossi spinning the PVCs and taking out that was such a delicate dance and so very well portrayed. That was beautiful. That was probably, with the exception of the combat scene where they were taking on the other Martian stealth ship, or not Martian, but the stealth ship that was guarding that one station, when they did the drop ships and Alex had to save everybody. With the exception of that one, this is probably the best space combat scene I've ever seen portrayed. It was so great. I loved it so much. Whew. Yeah, stuff like that just puts the icing on top of this story and just makes it so beautiful. Loving this show. It is absolutely the best space cowboy western we ever did see. All right, well, thank you guys so much for following along with the series. We're so back after suffering a big setback with our computer. I'm glad to be back working on these and getting to continue through the series. Thank you so much for all the likes and the comments and keeping us going. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video.